If you're interested in finding out how to get a visitor visa to England, why so many are being rejected with no right of appeal or review, then this video is for you. So I was prompted to do this video because a gentleman from Pakistan contacted me to find out why his visa, visitor's visa for his daughter, was being rejected. And so we're going to try to cover some of the reasons why people might get a rejection letter and what you can do about it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Karen Cole from Legal Minded Friends, and I assist litigants in person. And to get us off to a good start, what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about some stats that just came through as of June, the end of June 2022. So there was an estimated 69.5 million arrivals in the UK. And just to give you something to think about, if you want to understand what 69.5 million is, the population of England is 67.22 million as of 2022. And the Home Office approved over 2 million applications for visas. And out of those visas that they approved, 45% were for visitor visas. The other type of visa that might be needed is if you're passing through the UK, and that's called a transit visa. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to apply for those two types of visas. So firstly, if you find yourself in a position where you do have to apply for a visitor's visa, then it is your burden of proof to supply evidence that will meet the criteria in order for you to be a visitor. What will happen is the Home Office will look at your evidence and they will put a balance of, they will do a balance of probabilities test, which means that either the information you've given is more likely than not valid. Okay, so if they think that something you provided is not valid, then you will get a letter of rejection, or they might ask for you to provide some more information. So one of the criteria is that you have to be able to show that you can support yourself for the duration of your trip. Now, some people may not be able to do that, so it's always a good idea to show whoever you're visiting in England and ask them if they can sponsor you or support you while you are here. And if you do need to do that, then that person will also need to provide supporting evidence. Where it gets difficult is, let's say you've asked a sponsor and they provided you with a letter of support. However, if they have ever supported someone else in the past who did not comply with the visa rules, then you could be rejected. Now, you may not know who they supported or if that person overstayed their visit. So sometimes that can be a little difficult to know if that's happened, unless they've kept in really good contact, you know, with the person that they've supported. You may not know, but it's not likely something that they're going to tell you. So in that kind of a scenario, your visa would be rejected based on the balance of probabilities that, you know, this other person isn't going to do anything to ensure that you're not going to overstay. So you could be rejected for that reason. You could also have a situation where you're supporting yourself when you come to visit the UK and you say that you've got a job and you're working. However, if you don't supply evidence of that job, so, you know, the Home Office doesn't always tell you what you're going to need. And this is why it's good to get someone legal-minded to help you, because in that sort of a case, you're going to need to have a letter from your employer to show that you are employed, and you should really show a history of pay that you've received, because you're also going to have to show your bank accounts, and depending you know, how much is in your account and everything. And let's say if you just started a job, then this could cause some issues. So if you think about it this way, the Home Office has about 8 million applications that they have to go through a month. And there are some countries that, let's say, don't provide the kind of evidence that would be able to prove one way or another that they can support themselves. So if you think about it that way, there's going to be a rejection, a higher rejection, especially like some of the countries that are we're seeing more rejection are those that get paid cash in hand, or, you know, they don't get a paycheck. Let's say they're a waiter or a waitress, or some sort of an employment that a lot of their money comes from, you know, tips, which can't always be proved. So in that sort of a case, you might have to show that you've done a tax return or something. So if you think about it that way, what the Home Office is looking for is your ability to show them that you can support yourself. And that's a bit of a sliding scale, and that's why you really need someone legal-minded to speak to. If you did get a letter that says you've been rejected and that you have no right of appeal or to an administrative review, then you could look at starting a pre-action protocol, which would mean that you have grounds to basically sue the Home Office. Now, imagine if you sue them and you lose, how much you will get a cost order against you. So my advice is always just reapply, get someone legal-minded to help you, because the applications are not that much money, but you are risking a huge amount if you do lose in the courts. Now, I'm going to give you another example of something that you know, may not be so obvious to you, but when you're applying, if your name is different on your passport to what it is with your household bills, or if your address is different and you haven't updated your passport, little things like this will get your visa kicked out automatically. So I promised you that I would leave a link below to show you whether or not you need to apply for a visa, and whether, you know, if you're just passing through, which is a transit visa, or if you need a full visitor's visa. And quite surprisingly, if your plane is going to be more than 48 hours, then you will need a visitor's visa. So let's have a look at that. If you're going through UK border control, then you should apply for a visitor transfer visa, and that is right there. They also have a standard visa. This is where you would go once you have found out you need a standard visitor visa, and you can see it explains what it is for. Basically, it's for tourism, business, study, courses up to 6 months, and other permitted activities. So at the bottom of this, you will find apply for a standard visa. So, and then you can go through it. You can see the fees, and you can apply right there online. Well, I hope that was helpful. Check out the links below so you can go directly to those government websites. And the best information is if you are from a country that does tend to get rejected, it could be because your evidence isn't in the formats that they expect it to be. The other thing is that your application has to be orderly, and someone legal-minded could help you with that. And it's always good advice to do a statement with it that explains everything, and especially if you're not meeting the criteria or you've been rejected before, then you do have to speak about this. So it's a minefield. So it's better to contact someone legal-minded. Okay? Well, that ends today's video. If you want to leave a comment in the comment section below, we always like to hear about your experience, especially if you've just been rejected, as we know how heartbreaking that can be. England's a beautiful country, so I hope you do come to visit. And if we can help you to get that done, then contact us. Please like and share this video, as you never know who you will help.